the dark? Are you scared? You know, I am you.
Hi, and welcome to Cinema Figures. I'm your host, Caitlin, and today is a continuation of Octo-grr 2019. So, of course, you know I had to be talking about a pretty epic movie for this time of season. So, this just dropped. So, it's Scooby Doo Return to Zombie Island, aka the kind of sequel to Zombie Island, which if you didn't watch Scooby-Doo Zombie Island and you grew up in the 90s and the 2000s, dude, where have you been? Because that is easily the best Scooby-Doo movie of all time, in my opinion. Of course, there's a lot of really good ones out there, but that's one of the first of the direct-to-video release Scooby-Doo films, which they've all been like that since. But yeah, this is the newest installment of it. Now, the first movie, of course, we saw cat monsters, we dealt with the idea of cat gods, we had pirates, we had, of course, zombies, and our team was looking for a real-life ghost story. Well, they found it in Zombie Island, or Moonscar Island. Now, fast forward to present day. For some reason, it almost feels like they kind of just tried to go backwards, because I felt like if you rewatch Zombie Island, the way everyone is shown, they're all in their own jobs, they're all in kind of respected positions, where Daphne Blake has a coast-to-coast show with Fred. Of course, Velma is running her own mystery bookstore, and Shaggy and Scooby are in charge of inspecting cargo for an airport. So, I mean, they're all perceived as adults, where the beginning of this film, they are kind of held out to be more like teenagers, and I feel like this tried to undo a lot of what we got from the original. So, in this one, they are backtracking and stating that, oh, it was related to a school project of hers, and, you know, that was just a summer job. Dude, that was a for real summer job, okay? My summer jobs entailed cashier at a local grocery, rides operator at a kiddie park where I got chewed out by a lot of parents because their kids were too tall for the rides, and yeah, just really stupid things like that. That kind of miserable things to do. But you're telling me that you got to run your own talk show looking for ghosts and this and that. It was like, okay, your summer job just is so much cooler than my summer jobs. But yeah, so as we start off this story, we get to see that the kids have the gang, they keep being referred to as kids in this, and I don't like it. But the gang are being referred to as kids. The sheriff, of course, wants them to stay out of the mystery gang, is telling them that, you know, they're putting themselves in danger, they're just going to make people mad, that they need to focus on kid stuff. Okay. So for once, the gang actually takes this seriously, and they quit the mystery business. They close up shop for Mystery Inc. Let that set in for a second. Now, if you don't actually believe this, Fred Jones sold the Mystery Machine. He sold the frickin' Mystery Machine. What? And then Fred, the entire movie, we see Fred dealing with these basically separation pangs from the mystery machine anytime he thinks he sees it, or there is a van. He's constantly freaking out because it could be the mystery machine. There's a van that picks them up on this island, Moonstar Island, and he's complaining that there's no flower decals or, you know, a name brightly printed on it. He's like, what do you even call this thing? And the guy's like, the van. The van. Anywho, so they have taken it so seriously that both Shaggy and Scooby are making the gang promise that they will not go out of their way to try to solve or get involved with any more mysteries, right? And a promise is a promise unless the person that made you promise allows you to break that promise. That is what this movie sets in stone. So, they promise. Daphne, Fred, and Velma all promise to stay out of mysteries. Well, this is also where we get a shameless Elvira cameo, which I do loves me some Mistress of the Dark, horror goddess that she is, Elvira. If you don't think she's a goddess, you know, come at me in the comment section below. You're wrong. I'm telling you right now, you're wrong. Elvira is just, she's amazing. She's amazing. Anyway, shameless plug with the character. And there's a contest for her biggest fans, which I'm sorry to my buddy Jared, but apparently you're not her biggest fan because you weren't picked for this contest. But Shaggy Rogers was. So he is allowed to bring himself, 3 friends, and 1 pet. Yes, very specific reward there. And 1 pet on this tropical vacation to paradise. Yeah, so the gang's thinking that's a little kind of, little wonky there, a little mysterious there, you know, a little particular there. But they promised they weren't going to get involved with any more mysteries. So instead, they pack up their stuff and they go on this trip. Only they're on a ferry, and it kind of seems like they're out in the bayou, and they're not actually in the tropics. So it's like everything is just a little more sketch, but they did make a promise to the guys. So they get in farther, and there's island locals there who are there to give them a lay. And they tell them to get out, which, you know, big drawback to the original film, if you remember. You know, get out was the big thing. But, you know, they're just like, oh yeah, cool, you know, get out yourself. We're gonna get out and we're gonna get some vacay, bye. So, this is also where they start to hear of the idea of that there might be zombies on this island. And of course, the others are just kind of trying to brush this all off because there's no possible way there's zombies, you know. I mean, they're not allowed to get involved with mysteries right now. Promise is a promise. So they do end up going through a bit of hijinks in order to get to their hotel, which the Moonstar Island Resort Hotel. Yes, Moonstar. Yeah, just remember that name. So they get there to the guest book, and a number of pages are ripped out of the guest book. So I think it's a little sketchy, but they're not allowed to get involved with mysteries. But everything that's going on, it just seems more and more sketchy. Until they start to actually meet the workers there, and they just seem all too familiar. And then we deal with the idea that there actually might be some zombies there. So, big spoiler to anyone who hasn't already seen the new movie. This is your spoiler warning because I am going to get completely into exactly what this movie is right now. Alright, so they find out that they were actually tricked into coming into this island, not for the simple fact that there are zombies, But because there is a film director there who wants to film a movie with them, and he wants it to be as realistic as possible, so he's kind of recreated this whole case for them in his own way, and he's kind of tried to nix out the whole, the cat monsters, the cat-human hybrid things. He's tried to nix all of that, and he's kept the zombies, which, unmasking the zombies in this it's kind of funny. But, of course, the gang does decide, why not? We can be in a movie. So they do go along with quite a bit of the filming, until actual cat monsters show up. Or at least they think they're actual cat monsters. So, continuing on, we find out that the so-called cat monsters are actually just people who are trying to steal Morgan Moonscar's treasure, which, apparently he doesn't have treasure. He does, but I mean, for all they know, he doesn't actually have treasure, and, you know, the gang solves the mystery. It's a whole thing, but, I gotta tell you, I was super excited about this movie. The last few Scooby Doo movies that have been direct-to-video releases, I've had some issues with. Now, those issues I have with those movies are pretty much the same issues I have with this movie. So, what is it that makes a for real Scooby Doo movie? What are those few key moments or identifiable characteristics that you're like, oh my god, it's Scooby Doo, and it just makes you smile? What are those things? For me, they're the Scooby Doo theme song, which for the last several movies, this last one included, you know, Return to Zombie Island, they didn't play it the entire time, which was a pretty big letdown to me. Now, I will tell you, they did actually have a little bit of a chase montage going on, but they didn't have the whole in one door and out the other, popping out here, popping out there. That I know from Scooby-Doo. I've always seen that in Scooby-Doo. I've seen it from the shows, you know, where you Scooby-Doo, to a pup named Scooby-Doo, to even like the live action stuff. It's always happened. But the newest releases haven't really had them. Another thing, as, you know, little as it sounds, I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but Velma and her damn glasses that never seem to come off anymore. Velma was always known for losing her glasses. She would always get knocked over or fall down, or her glasses get knocked off her face, and she'd be on the ground screaming, my glasses, I can't see without my glasses. And inevitably, she would end up crawling right up to whatever ghoulie or minor 49er or cotton candy monster it was that they were trying to face off with. Inevitably, it would be handing him back to her. Because, you know, monsters are very considerate of people who have vision, who are vision impaired. Let's be honest here. But another thing, which I know I'm nitpicking here, Fred never once said, and neither did anyone else ever say, let's split up and look for clues. Daphne and Velma, you go with me. Shaggy and Scooby, you go that way. Never once happened this entire film. For the most part, they all stick together, or they were separated for just whatever random thing. Mostly it was just Scooby and Shaggy going off to get food, or to get a massage, or what have you. Which, by the way, Shaggy, really? Really, dude? If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm referring to. But, that being said, I did enjoy this film. There was quite a bit that I did enjoy about it. I mean, there were a lot of different jokes about the Mystery Machine, and a lot of different callbacks to, you know, the Mountain of Scooby snacks. And, of course, there was quite a bit of flashbacks and callbacks to earlier cases that they were a part of. Quite a few flashbacks to Zombie Island, that movie, which I'm going to tell you right now is a far better Scooby-Doo movie, in my opinion. However, I have nieces, I have a nephew who are all of a certain age, And this is something that I feel like I could show them fairly easily. And this is something that hopefully they could attach themselves to and develop their own love for Scooby Doo. So, is this necessarily for old Scooby Doo lovers? Kind of. Does it live up to the expectations that Zombie Island had? Return to Zombie Island, does it live up to that? No. It's an okay film. It is. I would say it is an easy watch, but is it something that I'm necessarily going to reach for over any other Scooby-Doo movie? We'll see. We'll see. I own it now, so I'm sure it'll get some watch time. I'm sure, it'll get involved with repertoire. Hopefully, my nieces and nephew will end up liking it just as much. But we'll see. We will see. As a Scooby-Doo fan, I feel like it was acceptable. That being said, if anyone from Warner Brothers, Hanna-Barbera, or, just Matthew Lillard, whatever, I'm sure you've got some pull there because, you voice Shaggy. If anyone who actually has any kind of power there, which I'm sure you're not watching this, but if you are, please do bring back the Scooby-Doo theme song, because why on earth is it missing from all of these recent films? I feel like the last one that came out that was also missing it was the Culinary Ghost. The one where they had all of the chefs involved. That was also missing it. I mean, bring back Velma losing her glasses. Bring back those, chase montages. And you know what? For good measure, bring back the Hex Girls. Because they're the Hex Girls, and they're going to put a spell on you this Octo-grr season. Yeah, that's right. You heard me. Shameless plug there. Octogrr 2019. So that was it for this episode of Cinema Figures. Please do give me a like if you like this video. Comment below and tell me whether or not you have seen Scooby Doo Return to Zombie Island. Tell me what you thought about it. Were you like me, where you're just like, yeah, it was okay, but I wouldn't say that it was fantastic. It was just kind of average, which is kind of a letdown because it's a sequel to one of the better Scooby-Doo movies we've ever had. So, yeah, that is it. Please do comment below and tell me some of your favorite Scooby-Doo movies, or even some of your favorite horror or Halloween-centric movies, because this is a marathon throughout Halloween horror for Octo-grr here on Cinema Figures. Also, please do subscribe to my channel for more movie-related content there. Like I said, we are in the middle of Octo-grr. And until next time, I'm your host, Caitlin. Bye.